hard to believe that something that does so much costs under $15.
Presto salad shooter slicer shredder, easier than a food processor.
In the 70s, the USA saw a surge of innovative home appliances, some quite unusual and quickly faded into obscurity. These appliances were often boasted as revolutionary at the time, but failed to withstand the test of practicality and consumer demand. Many of these appliances were considered unnecessary kitchen additions, from the novel hot dog toaster to the bulky electric food dehydrator. Popcorn makers, while famous for movie nights, were deemed redundant when stovetop or microwave options were readily available. Even appliances like the rotisserie oven and fondue pot, while enjoyable for special occasions, needed to be more manageable for everyday use. So, join us today to explore the 13 weirdest home appliances from the 1970s nobody wants back. Number 1. The hot dog toaster. The hot dog toaster from the 1970s was odd in kitchen appliances. It was crafted solely for toasting hot dog buns, which could easily be accomplished in a regular toaster. This appliance seemed more like a novelty than a practical kitchen addition. Its design raised questions about its necessity, as it offered little convenience compared to traditional toasters.
This is the Coca-Cola hot dog toaster. The maker claims this hot dog toaster delivers a flawless, juicy hot dog with a golden toasted bun every time.
Rather than being a sought-after gadget, it remained a peculiar relic of the past, often overlooked by consumers. Despite attempts to streamline hot dog preparation, this appliance failed to gain popularity due to its limited functionality. Though the 70s witnessed a surge in innovative household gadgets, the hot dog toaster failed to capture the public's interest and become one of the many forgotten inventions of its time. With more straightforward and versatile options, such as conventional toasters and grills, the hot dog toaster faded into obscurity. Its existence is a curious reminder of the experimental nature of product design during that era, when not every invention proved to be a hit. Today, this appliance remains a quirky footnote in the history of kitchen gadgets, often cited as one of the weirdest and least practical inventions of its time. While the hot dog toaster struggled to justify its existence against conventional toasters, the popcorn maker aimed to revolutionize a simple snack. But will its impracticality be a cautionary tale of the pitfalls of over-engineering simple tasks? Number 2. The popcorn maker. During the 1970s, popcorn reigned supreme as the go-to snack, dominating the culinary landscape of casual nibbles.
When I can't play football, at least I can watch football and enjoy my new Hamilton Beach butter-up popper. The only popper that butters its own popcorn.
Amidst this popcorn frenzy, introducing a dedicated popcorn maker surprised consumers. In a time when the stovetop and microwave methods of popping corn already provided a satisfying blend of ease and taste, the launch of an appliance solely for making popcorn seemed superfluous. This innovation raised eyebrows, questioning the necessity of complicating a simple pleasure that had been effortlessly achieved with essential kitchen tools. Despite its novelty, the dedicated popcorn maker did not secure a staple position in households across the country, reflecting a collective hesitation to embrace a gadget that, while fun, was deemed optional. Who wouldn't be content with the simplicity of tossing a bag in the microwave or using a pot on the stove? The 70s were no stranger to quirky inventions, but this one might take the cake for sheer impracticality. It's like trying to reinvent the wheel but ending up with a square instead. At the same time, popcorn makers might have seemed like a novelty, but they quickly found themselves shoved to the back of the cabinets, overshadowed by more sensible options. Now they're more of a curiosity than anything else, a relic from a time when more prominent was better, even when it came to popcorn. So let's raise a kernel to the humble pot and microwave, the true heroes of popcorn popping simplicity. Number 3. The electric food dehydrator. In the 70s, there was this thing called an electric food dehydrator. It was supposed to help you preserve your fruits, veggies, and meats by sucking out all the moisture. Sounds useful? Well, not really. These gadgets were big, clunky, and honestly, a hassle. Plus, they sometimes did the job differently.
Filth. It's the new electric food dehydrator and yogurt maker by Ronco. And it does so much, I can't believe it costs under $15.
Imagine spending all that time prepping your produce or meat with only inconsistent results. Sometimes things would come out perfectly dehydrated, but other times they'd still need to be more soggy or over-dried. It was like playing a game of food preservation roulette. Sure, it sounded like a good idea. Who wouldn't want to keep their fruits and veggies fresh for longer? But these electric food dehydrators could have lived up to the hype in practice. People quickly realized that they were more trouble than they were worth. They took up valuable counter space, and cleaning them proved to be a cumbersome task. You were better off just using other methods to preserve your food. They would have caught on if they had been smaller, more efficient, or produced more consistent results. However, electric food dehydrators remain one of the weirdest and least desirable home appliances from the 1970s. Nowadays, you're more likely to see them collecting dust in the corner of a garage sale than being used in someone's kitchen. The era's electric food dehydrator left kitchens frustrated. However, did the electric pasta maker, with its promise of convenience but lackluster performance, face a similar fate? Number 4. The electric pasta maker. Back then, an electric pasta maker was introduced to ease the laborious task of pasta making. However, it didn't quite catch on. Unlike traditional hand-crank pasta machines that were already efficient, these electric versions were deemed unnecessary. They promised convenience, but failed to impress. The allure of homemade pasta was still strong, but people found the electric pasta maker to be more of a novelty than a practical addition to their kitchen arsenal.
Imperial Restaurant is a professional pasta machine for restaurants, hotels, guest houses, and canteens.
One of the main reasons for its lack of popularity was its complexity. Unlike the straightforward operation of hand-crank machines, electric pasta makers often came with intricate settings and mechanisms that were more trouble than they were worth. Additionally, they took up valuable counter space in kitchens that were usually smaller and more compact than today's. Another factor contributing to their unpopularity was the perception that they produced pasta of a different quality than handmade or traditional methods. While the promise of automation appealed to some, many pasta enthusiasts found that the texture and taste of pasta made with an electric pasta maker paled in comparison to that produced by hand. Despite the attempt to streamline the pasta-making process, electric pasta makers from the 1970s remain among the weirdest home appliances of the era. Their lack of widespread adoption speaks to the enduring appeal of traditional methods and the skepticism towards unnecessary gadgetry in the kitchen. Number 5. The rotisserie oven. Rotisserie ovens emerged as a novel way to cook meats, promising juicy and flavorful results reminiscent of restaurant rotisserie cooking. However, despite their appeal, they needed help finding their place in everyday kitchens. One of the main reasons for their lack of popularity was their size.
3 great-tasting salmon steaks, a tender leg of lamb, 8 beef and chicken kebabs, and everybody's favorite, baby back ribs. It's all done with showtime.
Rotisserie ovens were bulky and took up a significant amount of space, making them impractical for smaller kitchens commonly found in homes of that era. Unlike modern countertop appliances, these ovens require dedicated space, often forcing homeowners to compromise their kitchen layout. Moreover, while rotisserie-style meats were a treat, they weren't something people typically cooked daily. The appeal of rotisserie chicken or beef was undeniable, but the novelty wore off quickly when faced with the reality of cleanup and maintenance associated with these ovens. They often came with intricate parts that needed to be more challenging to clean thoroughly, deterring many from using them frequently. Notwithstanding their drawbacks, rotisserie ovens had a loyal following among enthusiasts who appreciated their unique cooking methods. However, for the average homeowner, they remained among the weirdest home appliances of the 1970s, more suitable for occasional use or special occasions rather than everyday cooking. As the sizzle of the rotisserie oven fades, did the salad shooter, with its promise of streamlined vegetable prep, face similar challenges of novelty and limited functionality? Will its fate as a quirky kitchen gadget of the 70s echo the rotisserie oven's relegation to nostalgic oddity, reminding us that innovation doesn't always guarantee enduring success in culinary technology? Number 6. The salad shooter. During that era, The salad shooter burst onto the kitchen scene as a revolutionary appliance, promising to simplify slicing and shredding vegetables. Marketed as a time-saving device, it captured the imagination of home cooks seeking efficient meal preparation. However, despite its initial buzz, the salad shooter ultimately fell short of expectations. Although it excelled at its intended purpose of slicing and shredding vegetables, its functionality could have been improved. It struggled with tougher or larger vegetables, often jamming or producing uneven results, frustrating users who expected seamless performance.
Presto Salad Shooter Slicer Shredder. Easier than a food processor. Just point and shoot slices right onto a salad. Shoot shreds right onto a pizza. Top a dessert, go a little nutty.
Furthermore, the novelty of the salad shooter wore off quickly for many consumers. Although it provided a quick fix for slicing and shredding, it lacked versatility compared to traditional kitchen tools like knives and graters. Its single-purpose design made it less appealing for those seeking multifunctional appliances that could handle various kitchen tasks. Additionally, the cleanup process could have been more convenient, with small pieces of food getting stuck in the device's intricate mechanisms. Despite its shortcomings, the salad shooter remains one of the weirdest home appliances of the 1970s, mainly due to its fleeting popularity and limited functionality. While it may evoke nostalgia for some, it's unlikely to come back in today's kitchens dominated by more versatile and efficient gadgets. Ultimately, the salad shooter reminds us that innovation only sometimes guarantees long-term success in the ever-evolving world of kitchen appliances. The salad shooter sliced its way into kitchens in the 1970s, promising efficiency, but did the soda stream machine, with its ambition to revolutionize soda making, face a fate akin to the salad shooter's limited success? Will its clunky design and limited flavor options be remembered as a quirky relic of its time, overshadowed by sleeker and more versatile modern gadgets? Number 7. The Soda Stream Machine. Now, let's talk about the Soda Stream Machine from the groovy 1970s. You might think of those fancy soda makers you see nowadays, but they were a different story back then. Indeed, they were ahead of their time, trying to bring the soda fountain experience into your kitchen. But let's be honest, those early models were about as sleek as a brick. Clunky is an understatement. Picture a big, bulky machine sitting on your counter, not exactly winning any beauty contest. And here's the kicker. They still need to get the variety of flavors we've got now. You were stuck with primary flavors, nothing fancy like today's artisanal soda options. Now, don't get us wrong, the idea was excellent. Who wouldn't want to whip up their fizzy drinks at home? But the execution left something to be desired. The process could have been more user-friendly, and getting the carbonation levels right was more of a guessing game than anything else. Those early soda stream machines were quite costly. You were shelling out some serious cash for a gadget that, let's face it, was more trouble than it was worth. Fast forward to today, and you've got sleek, modern soda makers with a rainbow of flavors. It's like day and night compared to those clunky relics from the 1970s. So while we can appreciate the effort, the Soda Stream Machine of the olden times is one of those appliances nobody's itching to bring back into their kitchen. Number 8. The electric can opener with knife sharpener. This gadget was meant to make life easier by opening cans with a push of a button and sharpening your knives simultaneously. Sounds convenient. Well, not exactly. While it seemed like a handy idea, it often took up more counter space than it was worth. Its performance was hit or miss. Some folks swore by its ability to open cans effortlessly, while others found themselves wrestling with it more often than not.
Think about what your can opener goes through. Well, ours goes through the dishwasher. Pop out the module, pop it in the dishwasher.
The built-in knife sharpener was supposed to keep your knives in tip-top shape, ready to slice and dice immediately. However, many users found that it could have lived up to expectations. It might give your blades an edge, but it was different from sharpening them properly with a dedicated tool. So, while having two functions in one appliance was nifty, the execution left something to be desired. In the end, the electric can opener with knife sharpener became one of those appliances you either loved or hated. Some people couldn't live without it, while others couldn't wait to toss it in the back of the cupboard. And with more efficient and reliable can openers and knife sharpeners on the market today, this 70s multitasker is better off staying in the past. After the memories of the electric can opener with knife sharpener's hit-or-miss performance linger, did the electric ice crusher, with its flashy novelty and occasional use, share a fate akin to the mixed reception of its multitasking counterpart? Number 9. Electric Ice Crusher. Having crushed ice available for cocktails and upscale beverages adds a touch of sophistication to any gathering. However, introducing an electric device exclusively for crushing ice prompts a reconsideration of its necessity. This innovation overcomplicated a simple process that could be achieved with standard ice cube trays. While it may have served as an impressive tool for entertaining guests, it represented an extraneous piece of equipment occupying valuable kitchen space for most people. Consider the frequency with which one might need crushed ice for elaborate drinks. For many, this was a rare occasion, rendering a specialized electric crusher somewhat excessive. Furthermore, these devices were far from discreet in their operation. Activating one to crush ice often transformed the serene kitchen environment into one reminiscent of a bustling construction site due to the high noise levels emitted. The electric ice crusher might have been a fun novelty item, but it was more of a luxury than a necessity in the grand scheme. You're more likely to find them gathering dust in the back of someone's pantry than being used. So, while they might have been a hit back in the day, they must be added to everyone's wish list for modern kitchen gadgets. Sometimes simpler is better. Number 10. Fondue Pot. In the 1970s, fondue pots emerged as a popular feature at dinner parties and social events, providing an engaging communal dining experience centered around melted cheese or chocolate. Despite their appeal for entertainment purposes, their practicality for daily use in the average household needed to be improved. The primary drawback lay in their bulky design, which included several parts such as the pot itself, a stand, and multiple skewers. These components occupied significant storage space within kitchen cabinets and posed challenges regarding organization and neat storage.
Introducing the original Chocolate Factory, the fun, easy way to turn ordinary into extraordinary desserts.
Moreover, the fondue experience itself could be messy. Melting cheese or chocolate in a pot over an open flame required constant attention to prevent burning or spilling, making it less than ideal for busy weeknight dinners. Also, the cleanup process could be tedious, with melted cheese or chocolate often stubbornly clinging to the pot and utensils, requiring extra effort to scrub clean. While fondue pots added a touch of novelty to dinner parties and special occasions, they were ultimately relegated to occasional use rather than everyday kitchen essentials. As culinary trends shifted and people sought more convenient and streamlined cooking methods, fondue pots fell out of favor and became one of the weirdest home appliances of the 1970s. Though they may evoke nostalgia for retro enthusiasts, their impracticality for regular use ensures that fondue pots are unlikely to come back in today's modern kitchens. With the fondue pot's novelty faded into kitchen cabinets, did the electric knife sharpener face a similar fate, promising convenience but falling short of expectations? Will its bulky presence and perceived shortcomings consign it to the annals of kitchen gadget history, much like the fondue pot's decline from entertaining novelty to impracticality? Number 11. The electric knife sharpener. The electric knife sharpener emerged as a modern solution to the age-old problem of dull kitchen knives. Promising convenience and efficiency, these appliances seemed like a godsend for home cooks tired of struggling with manual sharpening methods. However, electric knife sharpeners were criticized for several reasons despite their convenience. One major drawback was their perceived lack of effectiveness compared to traditional sharpening techniques. Many users found that while electric sharpeners could restore some degree of sharpness to knives, they often didn't deliver the razor-sharp edge achieved through manual sharpening with a whetstone or honing steel.
Model 2100 will quickly put a razor-sharp edge on fine edge and serrated knives, eliminating the need for infrequent and costly sharpening services.
Furthermore, electric knife sharpeners took up valuable counter space in kitchens that were often limited in size. Their bulky design made it impractical to store away easily, leading many homeowners to grapple with sacrificing precious workspace for knife maintenance. Some electric sharpeners were also very noisy during operation, further detracting from their appeal. Despite their defects, electric knife sharpeners enjoyed popularity in the 1970s, representing a convenient solution to a common household task. However, as kitchen technology advanced and consumers became more discerning about the quality of their kitchen tools, electric knife sharpeners gradually fell out of favor. Today, they stand as one of the weirdest home appliances from the 1970s, remembered more for their novelty than their practicality, with many modern home cooks opting for more traditional methods of knife sharpening. Number 12. The electric wok. Let's talk about the electric wok, a quirky appliance on the 70s kitchen scene. It works pretty handy for stir-frying delicious meals, but do we need an electric version? That's the question many people asked back then. The idea was to make stir-frying easier and more convenient, but the execution sometimes didn't meet expectations. One of the biggest complaints was the lack of heat control. Traditional woks are heated directly over a flame, allowing precise temperature adjustments. But with electric woks, you are at the mercy of whatever heat setting the machine gave you. This often led to uneven cooking and dishes that needed more to be up to par.
Kmart celebrates Christmas in America with a West Bend 6-quart electric wok. The quality you need at the price you want.
The electric wok seemed like a time saver, but it often caused more frustration than anything else. But let's remember the size. These things were big and bulky, taking up valuable counter or storage space in the kitchen. And when it came to cleaning, forget about it. Many electric woks had non-removable parts, making them a pain to wash. The electric wok became one of those appliances that seemed like a good idea at the time, but didn't quite hit the mark. Now you're more likely to find traditional woks or even modern stovetop versions in kitchens, while electric woks have become relics of a bygone era. Sometimes simpler is better when cooking up a storm in the kitchen. The frustrations of the electric wok's shortcomings linger. Nonetheless, did the electric slicer and shredder, with its promise of kitchen convenience, face a similar fate of falling short of expectations. Number 13. Electric slicer and shredder. Electric slicers and shredders were marketed as cutting-edge tools designed to streamline kitchen tasks, such as slicing vegetables and shredding cheese. However, they could have lived up to the hype. A significant drawback was their size. These appliances demanded a considerable amount of either countertop or storage space, a scarce commodity in the typically smaller kitchens of the past.
Presto Salad Shooter Electric Slicer Shredder. So you can fill an omelet, slice a beet, make a soup, top a treat, clean up easy, dishwasher safe, stores anywhere.
This lack of space efficiency rendered them impractical for regular use, as many homeowners were hesitant to allocate precious kitchen space to devices with such narrow functions. Moreover, despite their intended purpose, electric slicers and shredders were often less versatile than advertised. While they excelled at slicing or shredding certain foods, they struggled with others, leading to uneven results and frustration among users. Also, some models were prone to jamming or malfunctioning, diminishing their appeal. Electric slicers and shredders gained popularity in the 1970s, symbolic of the era's enthusiasm for kitchen innovation. Yet as time progressed and consumers grew more critical of their kitchen appliances' functionality and practicality, the appeal of these gadgets waned. In contemporary times, they're often cited as some of the most peculiar home appliances of the 70s, more apt to stir nostalgia than to be valued for their utility.